Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Expert Alert. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, and this is where we talk to different people along the Gulf Coast, talk about their business and the details of what they do and the services they can provide. And one of the big things that we've been talking for over a year now is about the real estate industry. And we have, of course, Thad McIntyre, who is the broker and owner of Powermark Properties here in Biloxi. How are you?
Doing well, Jim. Thank you.
I like the jacket. I like the jacket.
Thank you very much. Sporting my Real Men Wear Pink a little bit today. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I'll give them some kudos in a bit.
Definitely. Well, we're talking about, of course, the real estate industry. I mean, it has been going nuts here lately with, and we wanted to bring Thad in and give us kind of a market update for buyers and sellers and those who might be considering, selling your home, or if you're looking at buying, maybe upgrading, buying a new home, or maybe you're in those retirement years, you want to find something smaller.
Sure.
So it's kind of crazy out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And first I want to say hello to all of our Cruising the Coasters that are here.
Yes.
Certainly have them as an opportunity to look as well. So
well, a lot of them, a lot of those folks that come down here are of retirement age.
Yes.
And they've, they come down here, and a lot of them come down here and decide that they want to stay.
Absolutely. The Secret Coast is here for a reason.
Yes, it is.
We've seen a little bit of change in the market. It's slowed down just a little bit, which I think those of us that have been doing this a while are excited about the little slowdown. Even some of our folks on the mortgage side, the insurance, say that it slowed down just a little bit. Not enough to make a huge difference, but enough for us to breathe. So that's a good plus for us right now. So we're excited.
Well, that's a good thing. But you see a lot of signs that are up with the homes that are for sale.
Absolutely.
I do some real estate photography myself, and I'm getting at least a call a week.
Jim, we're still seeing the average day on market running about 60 days right now, which a couple of months ago we were down to less than 30 days. So they were going very quick, and the only reason why they were staying on a little bit longer is because of the finance taking a little bit longer and the appraisals at that point as well. So uptick hasn't been that bad. We're not seeing a huge influx in price, and we're not seeing a devaluation either. So it's kind of stabilized, which is a really good thing for us. There were several of us that were concerned about it being into another 2008, 2009 bubble and it popping. And I think that we're going to stable out and maybe not have that as much as some of us thought that we would.
This is actually happening nationwide, because I have a friend that just sold their home up in New Hampshire, and it was only on the market for 6 days.
Yes.
And they made like a $15,000 profit on their home. And people are out there. It's almost like cars. I mean, cars are hard to get right now because of these stupid little chips in them, whatever they do. That's why we need to invest more in some of these classics that are coming down here, that you don't need those chips in. But the homes are going at such great prices, and they're selling relatively quick.
Yes, we're seeing a lot of people still from out of state that are coming here, especially for things like Cruising the Coast and other venues that we have. And I have a friend of mine that just got back from California, was out there, and they were talking about the uptick in the pricing and where they could go to get something comparable or even less than what they have. And he pulled out his phone and was showing him some of the photos of houses here in our market, and they could not believe that you could actually buy an 1,800, 2,000 square foot home for less than $350,000.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, they're very, very excited about that, and I think that we're going to continue to see people move here from outside of our local area.
It was like, what do you call it, the Secret Coast?
The Secret Coast.
Secret Coast,
yes.
Because I mean, it has been a well-hidden secret for a long time, and again, you see more infrastructure as far as more buildings going up.
Yes.
The cities are expanding out further and further. And
we're seeing a lot of commercial also coming back, which is really good for the economy. So once the commercial industry starts back again, and we start seeing that build, I think that we'll start seeing, I'm not so sure that we're going to see as much of the larger companies hit the footprint of what they had before, and for their employees, because people were working from home during this pandemic, and they realized that they were just as effective at home. So some of us do better at home, some of us don't. So I think we're going to see more of a hybrid come back with that and save those companies a little bit of money.
Well, and two, those who are working from home, after a while, they're probably sitting there going, I need to maybe expand a little bit more and get something a little bit bigger.
We're seeing that fourth and fifth bedrooms now, where before it was 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Now we're seeing that fourth and fifth bedroom because it's now an office for them.
An office, yeah.
Yep, and they need that privacy.
An office,
away
an
from
exercise
kids.
room, or something like that.
Exactly.
That people are taking advantage of.
Yep, very much so. One of the other things too that we're seeing quite a bit is the financing options. We're seeing that home sellers are a little more finicky with the FHA and VA financing. So really watch that if you're going to use one of those programs. Very, very, very good government programs for financing. Less money down. VA would be zero money down. FHA at 3.5%. So those are a little bit finicky whenever it comes to the appraisals, and people are finding out that maybe they're not appraising for the full value. So some of our sellers are a little more skeptical of using those. Don't be skeptical if that's the case. Just have an agent that knows going into it that that's the case, and talk more intelligently to the seller about those options and it not going above market value. We see so many people that are going into bidding wars currently, and whenever we see a slowdown and a downward tick with that, then people realize that they are at their kind of top value for the property, and that's really where we need to be. So if you've got a buyer or seller, excuse me, a seller that's a little finicky about FHA and VA financing, just calm them down a little bit and they'll be just fine.
Now, 3-4 years ago, homes, properties, values of them seem to be a little bit less than they are today.
Correct.
Because, I mean, what was the change in that?
We've seen, well, interest rates, absolutely that, and I think people staying at home, they realized that they needed more space. So they had more money because they weren't spending it. They weren't spending it on recreational vehicles. They weren't spending it on vacations because we couldn't go on vacations 2-3 years ago now. I can't believe we're saying that, but it's been almost that long. So, you know, we are seeing people now start to expand their vacations again, and they're using that supplemental income to be able to do those things that they were doing before. So I think that we're going to balance out, provided that we don't see any more upticks or anything with the pandemic.
I don't see as many signs, and you know, you used to see a lot of signs in the yard for sale by owner.
Yes.
And you don't seem to see that many anymore because, and there are many issues that can pop up if you do purchase, you know, if you do deal with somebody that's for sale by owner.
I hope that part of this segment over the last year has helped that just a little bit.
Yeah, we have addressed that issue a couple of times.
Yes, we have, and it's certainly, I hope that it's helping the real estate agents as well as the real estate community understand that for sale by owner isn't always the best way to go. And even though that it appears that you're going to spend more money, the National Association of Realtors show that the seller actually makes more money by using us as a trained professional.
Right.
So I hope that's the case.
And I know one of the things is, I think, what's it called, the disclosure issues?
Yes,
something like
seller's
that.
disclosure.
Seller's disclosure. I mean, if somebody who is selling themselves, they don't have to tell you everything that's going on.
That's correct. We are a non-disclosure state, so as the seller themselves, they're not required to disclose anything to you.
Their foundation could be about to collapse.
Could be. Hopefully they've got a good building inspector or a home inspector that's coming out to check the property for them, but many sellers don't actually do that, or buyers aren't aware that that needs to be done.
And so that's why it is so much better to use an agent.
Absolutely.
Is there a certain area of the coast that's really been booming here lately?
North Gulfport and Biloxi still is probably the predominant two. So 39503 zip code.
Up there around Orange Grove,
yes,
Lyman,
exactly.
and those areas up there?
Exactly.
I remember when I lived here years ago and I went to high school back in the mid-70s, that whole area was still being developed out there, you know, Wood Village and all that.
So we see a lot of that still being developed, and you've got Florence Gardens, a little more upscale.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of the other places, you know, Diamond Head's kind of changed its outlook on things, so people are looking there a little bit differently. And of course, Ocean Springs is always hot. Paid more taxes, but you get more of the property. And we're seeing a lot of people that were coast people moving north of I-10 and allowing the people that are out of state to enjoy what we've had for so many years.
I know the Wool Market area is a pretty hot area, right?
Wool Market, Van Cleve, very much so.
Yeah, because it's almost like you got a little bit of the country out there, and but you're still close enough to everything.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of our agents internally actually go out, and because it's very difficult for us to get listings right now, they're going out a little bit further and maybe a little bit larger home on more acreage. So we're seeing a lot of those pop up now. So give us a call if you're interested in something with a little bit of acreage. We've got a few of our agents.
Matter of fact, one of your agents I did a shoot for here a few weeks ago had 2.5 acres of land. The seller had 2.5 acres of land with a beautiful home.
Yes.
Wanda Brown had a 2.5. Was the agent, and I went out and shot it, and within 2 days, bam, it was sold.
Very much so.
So people are loving those things out there. Anyway,
we've got that.
Got it. And good luck with the Real Men
Thank
Will
you.
Pink thing.
Stop by our office. We've got one of our ambassadors there, Jason Bergdorf, is heading it up for us this year. We've done it for 3 years in a row. And stop by our office, wear your pink, and you'll probably be on our social media.
There you go. They're located right across the street from Keesler Federal Credit Union on Pass Road in Biloxi. Powermark Properties.
If you have a question for any of our experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert. For a list of any of our upcoming experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert.